Hello, Kyle from Off-Road Consulting, and today I want to talk about the current tow ball controversy. And my condolences to the family of the gentleman who passed away in Arizona a week or so ago from a misfortunate accident. We're going to talk about tow balls and some recovery points and things you should be mindful of in this video. And it's not going to be calling anybody out or bashing anybody. It's more of awareness. And there's a lot of these videos popping up right now after the incident because of what happened, the tragedy that it was, but they're also giving different spins with a lot of calculations and such. And I just want to do a real world scenario with it. And I've recorded this video probably 4 times, and that's the snippets you're going to see throughout this video are all the ones that I've made and changed my mind on for information, trying to figure out exactly which way this needs to be portrayed. And the reason why I say that is some people like towing with trailer balls, some people do not. There's a lot of pros and cons with different things. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about weak points and why certain ones shouldn't be used, or any of them shouldn't be used. We're going to talk about other alternatives for products and things like that. One thing that people don't readily keep in mind with this, though, is the moment. That is one of the biggest things. So I'm certified in multiple industries, including crane, towing, and off-road. I am a certified crane rigger, and I have a bunch of other setups like that I'm certified through. But the reason why I even mention that is I study what people do in those industries. So in the towing industry, I watch towing operators. I participate in some recoveries via towing, but I study this stuff. And I look at why they hook up things the way they do, what they're using as connection points, why, where their background is. Are they a redneck hillbilly get her done, or are they doing it for a certain reason? And I'll talk to towing operators also. Be like, why are you using that? Why do you use that piece of equipment? And I want to hear their side of it, because they do things different than the off-road industry. And the off-road industry has a serious lack of education. And the ego of this hobby leads people to go, oh, I bolted a winch on the front of my vehicle, I'm an instant expert now. And there is so much that goes into winching and recovery that people just assume, oh, how hard can it be? There's a lot that goes into it to calculate forces. But then you get into moment, and it takes a strong discipline to stay safety conscious in a extreme or stressful moment such as a recovery. It takes a special individual to be able to maintain that focus the entire time when it's hurry up and get this done type of setup. And that's what's not discussed often, is the let's hurry up and get it done. Oh, I can't afford $5,000 in the prime top tier recovery gear to carry in every vehicle I have. So you use what you have. But when is that risk? When are you assuming a risk? What can you do different? Things like that we're going to discuss, because there's a lot left in those moments. We can all sit here after the fact and go through all the different things that happened. Hindsight is always 20/20, you know that saying. But when you're in the moment, that's what needs changed. And there's a lot of people who do things and get lucky, and there's a lot that are unlucky. Where that line is, there's not much of a difference. So what can you do? Now, I have a couple examples I'm going to be showing through the video. I have tons of examples of stuff. But your typical trailer ball, it is big shank or small shank through the hitch. Do these break easily? Depending on the situation, but you also have to factor in manufacturer. Is there a flaw in the metal? Any of that stuff. Nothing is 100% perfect. This is a 2-inch ball rated for 3,500 pounds. This is an 1 7/8 ball rated for 2,000 pounds. And if you look at this one, you can actually see how the hitch part of it broke. Not the ball, not the shank, but also they have 4 washers on this, the nut, the shank's bent, the ball's tweaked, but still the hitch gave up. And this I found about almost 100 feet off of the trail, stuck into a tree. So that was the force with this. And it has all these nice sharp edges on here also. That's like a Chinese star coming at you. Trailer balls, a lot of people will look at them as they're easier recovery points. And for the reason of you can literally just take a strap, hook it on there, and go like a tow strap. Now, if you're going across a parking lot or a flat grass field or, you know, a dirt road, will it hold? Yes, because you're just going on a light, easy pull. Now, the worse the drop also. So the farther this drop goes, the worse it gets for leverage right here. So like this one doesn't have much of a drop. So it's pretty strong there. The ball is a weak link. But as you get to be a farther drop, it's more leverage on it from having it dropping down so far, then it breaks at the weld. And if you don't have a very good brand receiver hitch, you're relying on the welds of their employees. So also with weight ratings, so this is a 1 7/8 ball. This has 3,500 pounds on it. This is a 2-inch ball, which has 8,000 pounds on it. And my 2 5/16 ball I use for towing my trailer has 16,000 pounds on it. But that is for towing. That is for a pivot point with the trailer and to pull the load slowly. It's not made for hard yanks. And the other thing that people are doing is they're taking a kinetic rope like a Bubba rope or many of the other brands out there, and they're attaching this to it, backing up bumper to bumper and then flooring it. So you have 30 to 60 feet of velocity, and then it goes from nothing to complete pull. And that will shear these off really, really easily. Same with even putting a soft shackle on there. It's the hard yank. It's not the strap. It's how they're doing it. Is the technique. It is the hard yank on something that's not designed to be yanked on. This is designed as a pivot point with slow, steady pulls, not bumper to bumper, throttle through, send it type of pulls. That'll shear this right off. But it's a convenient point because it basically looks like a tow hook sitting here. The other thing people try to use is your piddle hitch. Now with a piddle hitch, you have to watch. Now this one is a 10-ton, so 20,000 pounds this is rated for pulling a load, not for yanking. But also when you put this in here and close this, there's always a little bit of a gap. And depending on how thick the strap is and where this is pulling exactly, it can work its way out. Now the latch holds it, but I've seen straps come through this gap or tear because of it. So you have to be very careful of that also. So when it comes to tow points, use proper tow points, shackle mounts, properly rated tow hooks, things like that. Don't use a trailer ball. And the other thing with these, don't put a shackle in here and use that as a recovery point, because that's putting a lot of stress also on these welds, pulling against the leverage of the drop. So use proper tow points. If you need to use the hitch, get yourself a nice receiver hitch plug that'll go in, put the hitch pin in. While we're talking about this, recently people were showing pictures of a hitch pin being bent. I've done a lot of studies on these, and so far most of these can handle 40,000 pounds. In a single shear, it's close to 70,000 pounds in a double shear of what we've been seeing as
test results. Now, we physically have not been doing those test results, but we've been seeing the test results of it. But I've put 20,000 plus pounds through one of these already and has never bent, tweaked, or not, or anything of the sort. But recently there was a picture of one being bent, and the gentleman who did it, no, nothing against him, said it was a very light pull that did it, but a light pull with a kinetic rope. Now, could it be a failure in the metal? Could it have been just a fluke? Possibly. But I've never seen one bend or break under normal conditions. I've always seen them bend or break under extreme yanks, somebody getting rear-ended, backing into a wall or a rock aggressively, things like that. Not from actually hooking a receiver hitch plug into the hitch and the hitch pin failing. Or even as simple as sliding a soft shackle through the hitch onto the hitch pin. That is substantially weaker, but it's still a better option than using a tow ball.